week been like for you and your team?
Well, it's been a pretty summer weekend, but our guys came out Monday, and we had a really spirited practice. We practiced late night on Monday just to get some stuff prepared, but everything's going well. I know that I did leave the hospital at about 10:30, 11 o'clock last night, and there was some guys just coming in to go visit, so I had to run them out of there. But it's been a eventful week, but we're just getting started. We've got to be focused on the task in hand, and our hearts and thoughts go out to Christian and his family. But our kids understand that we still got a mission.
Can you tell us a little bit about Christian? What he was like on the field, on the field.
He's a great student. He's one of those kids that you don't worry about going to class. Being at meetings on time and doing everything that he needed to do as a college student. And he was excelling on the football field. I want to say at the time of his injury, he had collected 5 or 6 tackles in the first half of that game and made some pretty good big plays.
Do you have any idea? Have you guys been able to correlate with the trainers as to when in the game it happened?
No, not really. You go back and you look at the tape, leading up to that event, and it was routine plays that he was making, so I really couldn't tell you that.
How have the players been handling it?
The players have been, I always say this, kids are more resilient than we are. There are a couple of guys, a couple of his roommates and stuff, we sat down and talked a little bit about some things, but they're handling it pretty good.
So how do you prepare for? I mean, you still got to play a game on Saturday. So how do you get prepared?
Man, we're gonna see in just a minute. We're gonna be out here. We're gonna get out here and we're gonna stretch. We're gonna go through our normal routine. The only thing that's different is Christian's not gonna be on the field with us today.
How do you mentally prepare everybody, because it's definitely going to be kind of different this week, him not being here. How are y'all mentally kind of blocking out some of that?
It's tough, but, we always preach to our kids, next man up mentality. It's a little different because it's a different set of circumstances. Normally it's a sprained ankle or a shoulder or something like that. This is a really critical situation, but I think our kids have handled it well, and I'm hoping that his backup, Terry Strada, is kind of funny because, his first college play, he goes in the game and gets an interception on Sherman the other day. But Terry's a true freshman out of Miami, Carroll City. That's his backup, and he's one of the guys that Christian was mentoring and talked to a lot about that position. So that's the kind of person that he was. He always shared information with the guy behind him and wanted everybody to excel.
You described what he was like on the field and him as a student, but what was his personality like?
I mean, he was a quiet kid. Like I said it a little backwards, I think, this morning on the show. But if you were in the room with Christian, you wouldn't know he was there unless somebody pointed him out. He had an infectious smile. And that's what I'm waiting to see. I'm waiting to see that smile that he always brings to the table. He doesn't say very much, but his demeanor is always upbeat and up tempo.
And I had to correct myself. What is his personality?
Yeah, it's great.
And the dean of students, we just talked to him about an hour ago and said that it's been tough on the student body in general, not just for the team, but for all students here at TSU, and said that there are wraparound services, counselors available for students, for football players. Just have there been some of those tough moments of some of your players?
Sure. It was very emotional after the game. In our meetings, some kids expressed some thoughts and views and whatnot, and because we're a close knit unit, man. These kids are really, really close. That's one thing I like about this team. It's a brotherhood, and when one of your brothers go down to an injury or something like that, it affects you.
Has it affected you personally?
Absolutely. No question about it. But, I do understand that, as the leader goes, the rest of the team will follow. So I got to, keep my game face on, and I've got to be strong for the rest of these guys on this football team. Your team is going to be only as good as its leadership.
As tragic as it is right now, do you feel sort of blessed that it happened at Vanderbilt rather than at maybe one of these other
Without the question. It was probably, for something like that to happen, it was probably the perfect storm of events. We had neurologists on the sideline, and we were 2 minutes away from the medical center. So you couldn't have, it couldn't have played out any better for something that tragic to happen.
I was just going to ask if you could just take me to your thoughts and feelings when you saw things unfolding during the game. You saw him go down. What?
Well, you know, it was a little difficult because I didn't really see him go. I know that we were in a timeout, and you know, the trainers took him away, and I really didn't see him again until after when we were going to the locker room at halftime. And then at that point, you know, I was trying to let the trainers and the EMTs do their job. So my job was to keep the focus of the team and get those guys in the locker room. And I think Zakia and everybody else were keeping me abreast of what was going on outside as I was in there talking with the team. Hey, just thoughts and prayers, man. They're just really concerned about the teammates. So our kids, like I said, we're a really close-knit unit, and he was one of the favorites on the team. You know, we call him AB, and, you know, they're just concerned.
We talked about sports. You got a tough game this week against Austin P, a team
That we lost to last year, yeah. You can say that.
Tough games against them, even the past 2 years.
Right. Well, I mean, you know, it's going to be a tough out. You know, coming off an emotional game like Vanderbilt, where, you know, we were right there, you know, to the fourth quarter, right where we wanted to be in that game, and had an opportunity to win it there on the last drive. To come down off of that, you know, an SEC opponent going back into OVC play, we got to refocus on what our real goals are, and that's to win an OVC championship. And that starts again with Austin P. And it's a very tough team. You know, Will have those guys really well coached, and Will is a good friend of mine. Will is actually texting me every day, you know, to see what the update on Christian has been. But, you know, all friends aside, it's going to be a tough game, and it's one that has come down to the wire the last couple of years.
It's one of those games where you feel like you have to put up 33 points to match their high-octane offense.
It's one of those where we got to play great defense, I know that, and slow them down and be able to put points on the board and take advantage of every possession. All right.
What's your message to him and his family right now?
They know that. I was over there this morning. I'll be there tonight when I leave practice. You know, our thoughts and prayers go out to the Abercrombie family from the Big Blue Nation all over the country, not just me.